audience and attendees are getting older, having kids.
Yeah, they're getting old.
Sorry about that, guys. My video, my internet died. We have a bad storm here, that winter storm that just hit. Put a foot of snow on the East Coast, I think. So yeah, that storm hit us, and so yeah, we had a power outage here just a second ago, and I'm sorry about that. So my video was interrupted, which will throw a bit of a spoke in the way it normally is delivered on YouTube today, but you know, not too much. Shouldn't be anything different, really. Now this thing is there. This thing's fucked because the internet cut out. There we go. Go check my title. Well, and then live streaming. I'm gonna check and see what my YouTube status is because I don't know. I'm trying to be on YouTube, but I don't know if you're actually like doing it. I'm gonna like actually try and then edit. Rest Hardcore Zombies. Now it is 1-9. Yeah, but that's alright. I mean, why not? We'll say 1. Well, no, we'll say 1-8. Yeah, that's good. But we do want public. And the game will be WoW Classic. There we go. We say save. And then Twitch. And we will get off Rust here. And say WoW World of Warcraft, and then okay, done. And then oh, my subscription has expired. Okay. Oh yeah, you want me to sign in, but no, I want you to just that's okay. I don't want to do this right now. Just so yeah, the Fallout 76 did pass, so that's okay. We're good. So now, hi guys, I love you. And so now there we go. Oops, gotta go get my. We go. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, sorry, everything broke down, so I have to get all the games back up and all this other stuff. I thought I was in. No, I wasn't in. No, I wasn't in. All right, well, try again. And you should fire off that. Yes, and you should fire off that. And you should fire off. That's good. I've seen it. And then and you should fire off Rust. Rust. There we go.
And their hair is turning gray, and they're not coming to gaming conventions anymore, and we don't like this. Yep, there it is.
I never did. I never did go to gaming conventions. Sounds like a fucking like a madhouse to me. You know, like maybe. But I don't know. Gamers that I know are so competitive. I don't know if I really want to be around that. Done. Save. Okay, and you are putting me on the wrong screen for some reason. Display capture should be on the LGTB. Yes, and okay, and there we are. We are good. You had the wrong display adapter running. Okay. Oh, now something happened with my mouse here. Yeah, what happened here? Oh, because, yeah, something's happening there. Yeah, why would that be the case? Oh, because you are running. No, you aren't running that, no. But you have that open, which is bad. Get that gone. And that's gone. Get that gone. Gone. Now, something happened with this, which makes no sense. Like, why would that be the case? Yeah, primary windowed. I don't need it. I don't need it windowed. Yep. Thank you. Yep. And then, yeah, and then now for some reason, you reset my control mouse look speed. No, it's something to do with, yeah, it's something to do with my LG is not working, I don't think. I'm gonna quit and relaunch it. Oh, come on. LG actually has been really good lately. It's been breaking a lot less. Yeah, like I think you were, yeah. You were not running my mouse driver, and it shows. There we go, much better. Okay, back to, oh yeah, I made sales, and I checked my box, and I've got 9 silver left, huh? Well, okay, at least I have something to sell. This will be some silver, like that's a gold worth of grays. That's good.
Welcome to my inn, weary traveler. What can I do for you?
I reload UI just off of like instinct here, I think, and then. Yep, but before we do this, we'll get into EVE and get that loaded and all running and everything, and then I'll do Rust. I want to get WoW and EVE running first. Such a distraction when this stuff dies. Are you sure you want to exit? Yes, I do. Yes, get rid of it. What was the login? Gotta watch for the sock puppets. There we go. Gotta reconnect to lost drones. No, I'm okay, actually. Okay, good. And we're good here. We can go fly out. I will just farm gold for a while. Oh, I have to repair. I forgot. Yeah, my boots are broken. Because I died so much. AFK. Or linking. I'm really glad that I'm not playing hardcore.
Just browsing my wares, or is there something specific I can help you find today?
I like hardcore, but it's, you know, it's a struggle. Maybe after I finish SOD all the way to 60, I'll feel a little bit more confident about doing hardcore. I'm more used to the problems of it. And I don't know, once I'm 60 in SOD, it'll be like I'm done with WoW, I think.
Where is it you would like to go, lass? For just a few coin, my griffins can get ye there faster than even the swiftest horse.
Yeah, we're going right back to Manethil. I suppose I should, like, switch spots now, but I like fishing is the problem. Fishing's good income, but the real money is whelps and oozlings and prestige. I should be really farming whelps, like I really feel so. Oh, a reset was nice. I lost my power, so I had to reset power. Oh, good. Look, hey, the kids went to bed. Go to bed, you fucking child. Now, what happened here? Why am I far away? No. What? No. God damn it. That's fine, I'll come back to it.
So, how do we grow? And so myself and all the others in the room sat around, thinking up all sorts of ways they could do this, offering advice, but the pushback we kept getting was, if we take your advice, we could risk alienating those who already attend.
Yeah,
And so the conversation would devolve into, what is the point of having us here if you're afraid to take the big risks? The only way you grow is by
and that's actually a really good point, is Jesse Cox used to be a... really, really, really into WoW. Actually, like, I mean, I have a personal story about Jesse. This is like the first time I ever went to BlizzCon. I'm pretty sure Jesse Cox didn't even know who the fuck I was, and he just gave me his +1 for the WoW head party. But he was like, "Oh, you trying to get in? Yeah, sure, you can come with me. It's fine." Yeah, he's a nice guy. I like him. It's good.
Doing this on this very channel, one which I have had probably far too long. I spent 10 years doing Let's Plays, and then the ecosystem changed, and Twitch is where you went to go watch Let's Plays, and YouTube Let's Plays kind of died off unless you had some sort of gimmick or some sort of fun
Yeah, they're not that much of a thing anymore.
goof thing that you were doing. For the most part, most people didn't want to watch complete Let's Plays on YouTube, especially from someone who, in gaming space or influencer or content creator terms, is an old man.
Yeah,
And
exactly. That's the thing. Is like, as a guy, right? I mean, this is a fucking fact. It's like whenever I remember one time. So this is like, all right, I was like 16 at the time, and I remember we were hanging out at McDonald's, and we were supposed to be at school. We weren't at school. We were at McDonald's, and some guy came over who was 20 years old, and it felt really weird to me that he was hanging out with us. Because, like, the difference between 16 and 20 is so big. Like, you know what I mean? It felt really weird. Like, am I, like, and that's probably the way y'all felt too, right? Like, overall, yeah, is it? Yeah, it is. It definitely is. It's really big. Like, at 16, you've got, you know, not only you've got a whole year, and the guy wasn't weird or anything. We just both happened to be gone, like, we were hanging out, right? It's not, he wasn't a creep or a weirdo or anything. I'm just saying, like, this is just like a fucking random encounter that happened. And, oh, we had people that were 20 in my high school, too. It's a good point. But that's different. Anyway, so, like, you know, if you're 20, you've been out of school for 2 fucking years, man. Like, you've probably either had a job, or you moved out of your parents' house, you're going to college, you've been in college for over a year. Like, bro, 18 to 20 is like a big fucking deal, man. So like, yeah, 16 to 20 is huge. So it's like whenever you're an older guy, you're not going to attract the same type of young audience. Like, you're not going to have Minecrafters that are super popular with the kids that are like 41. It just doesn't happen. And maybe, I mean, I'm sure it happens once or twice, right? But it's like definitely a super minority, and it's very uncommon. And it's just because people relate to some of these streamers are kind of old, though. I know, exactly. But like, what I'm saying is that, like, whenever you're young, and it becomes even more of a, you know, it's like half your age plus 7 or whatever the fuck that thing is. Like, I think that's also like a life experience type thing too, where like if you're that far away from somebody in age, it's harder for you to relate to them.
so I stopped for the most part and instead did more news-related things and videos like this. And yeah, sure, I took a hit at the start. People who had been here for a while were like, this isn't the Jesse I know, not my Jesse. But the channel recovered, it's growing again, and I've never been happier. And that is...
And it took Jesse a while to do that, right? It's something that should happen overnight. It took him years.
What's happening to Final Fantasy? In order to keep the franchise around another 30 years, they have to grow and change and become something that more reflects what today's gamers want.
Absolutely.
And going back to Skill Up's review, just look at the comments. People in the comments are saying, never played a Final Fantasy, but I'm gonna try this one out. And that is a huge victory for Yoshida and Square Enix and everyone involved, no matter what the lineage of Final Fantasy is.
Yep.
And we should top that lineage, because Final Fantasy is a series that has always been about taking risks. The name Final Fantasy comes partially from the fact that it was Sake.
Look at Final Fantasy 11, for example. Like, that was like, wasn't that basically one of the first online MMORPGs on a console? It's like insane. What the fuck? Yeah, I feel like people don't pay enough respect to how many different risks they've taken over the years.
Uchi's last attempt, his final risk at creating something before giving up on game dev altogether. But the game was a hit, and each iteration since has taken the same risks. The rest is history. A history worth talking about, because I'm still asking the question, when was Final Fantasy Final Fantasy?
I never realized he broke the staff in the center.
And more importantly, how do you even define what that means? Clearly, we're gonna include music. The music has always been amazing in Final Fantasy. The visuals, even back in the sprites in Mode 7 days, were stunning. Then maybe when you say it's not Final Fantasy, you mean the combat system. How it's not turn-based, or it looks different. You miss the active time battles, which really haven't been a thing since 2001 in Final Fantasy X. But
It's just like, I just feel like turn-based games don't have the same, they don't have the same clout that they used to have. I mean, for lack of a better word, like turn-based games used to be massive, and like now they're still around. It's not like there's no turn-based games. I mean, they didn't die like RTS died, but they're not as popular as they were in 2001.
Final Fantasy 11 and 14 are MMORPGs and have MMORPG style combat. 12,
They're not dead. Please, they're not dead. There's Octopath Traveler, Star Rail, fucking Darkest Dungeon, Persona, Divinity. I'm not saying that they're dead, but let's be real. They're not as big as they used to be.
did away with random encounters and made enemies visible on the map. The active time battle system became the active dimension battle system and introduced gambits. 13 returned to a variant of the ATB system, although with much more button mashing. 15 introduced an action-based system called the active cross battle, which instead of a menu, players mapped buttons on a controller. They're all over the place. And the active time battle system of old wasn't really introduced until Final Fantasy 4 and 5, and then 5 had the job system, which was a whole other thing, and then that wasn't in Final Fantasy 6. So I guess then maybe when you're saying it's not your Final Fantasy, you're talking about the setting or the world building. But even there, the games have always been about the setting.
Wasn't this Secret of Mana? Didn't Secret of Mana have this exact same thing with the cannonballs? That's so Final Fantasy 4 had the same thing. Holy shit, I didn't even know that. Secret of Mana takes place in the same world? What the fuck? I had no idea.
Yeah,
But even there, the games have always pushed the boundaries. Final Fantasy 1 through 5 were fantasy stories set in worlds of castles and crystals, and sure, there were airships and chocobos.
And I think also, like, if I'm sure he's probably going to talk about this, but like Final Fantasy 14, I feel like that game really started to pop off. Whenever I started to really hear about it was Stormblood. Because Stormblood was whenever they kind of said, you know what? We're not just going to be a WoW clone anymore. We're going to be our own game. And I think after that, and then going into Shadowbringers, and then obviously Endwalker, but mainly Stormblood and Shadowbringers, whenever it gained its own identity. Because if you look at the original A Realm Reborn abilities, so many things from Final Fantasy 14 were just like lifted off of WoW because WoW did this, and so we're gonna do this too. And then somebody over there was like, wait a minute, why the fuck are we doing the same thing they're doing? This isn't good for the game.
Moogles, but all of that took time to develop too. There were no chocobos in Final Fantasy 1. The first Moogle was in Final Fantasy 3. Final Fantasy 4 was the first time they really started to delve into deep character drama. Final Fantasy 6 was this push into the trope of magic versus technology. 7 then took that concept and ran with it, as technology and its impact on the world played a major role in that storytelling. Hell, you spent the first part of that game in a giant city dystopian.
This is Final Fantasy 7. I have never played Final Fantasy 7. The closest thing I've ever come to that is watching Esfand play the remake, and I watched Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children. That's it. I never played Final Fantasy 7. I want to play the remake.
Cyberpunk setting, which was shocking.
Remake's good, but it's not as good as the original.
Battling other school kids and then witches. 9 is a return to
Now the second part might be though.
And then 10 brings us the world of Blitzball.
Dude, I really cannot express, like, Final Fantasy X, I don't know if there was ever a game that was, for its time, as much of a graphics update as Final Fantasy X. It was fucking ridiculous for its time. It was disgusting.
Cities and a world that for the first time is kind of modeled off something different
Like,
compared
this
to the other
shit
games.
was like, look at these graphics, and like this was at the same time that other characters were just 17 different triangles. was fucking ridiculous.
Games, this time being inspired by Southeast Asia. 11 is straight up an old school MMORPG with fantasy tropes abound.
Well,
12?
and no. I wish he had covered this more. Final Fantasy 11 was the biggest and the first that people still remember to this day. Console MMORPG. Final Fantasy 11 is fucking insane.
I love 11.
It's still going.
It's still going.
Was a return to magic versus
Play it almost every day.
in a vast desert-filled world, echoing more Star Wars than Final Fantasy. 13, 1, 2, and 3 are straight up anime as hell and set in a semi-futuristic world. And 15 is literally 4 dudes pushing a car to the song Stand By Me. And I saved 14 for last since it's ongoing, and honestly, since Yoshida produces this game as well, it makes sense to save this for the end of the list. If you don't know the history of this game, just go watch the No Clip documentary.
That documentary was so good. I watched the whole thing.
It's amazing. But it also clearly establishes that 14 is a love letter to every single one of these other games I mentioned.
Yep.
Yoshida and the team.
Yeah, 11 was a love letter. 14 was an abomination. 14 was a World of Warcraft wannabe, like, complete disaster when it launched, and it was not good. It's not good now. It's good, but it's not good.
Than Final Fantasy.
And it does have a lot of Game of Thrones elements. It does. Absolutely.
First, I feel like a lot of people.
No, it doesn't. It has a lot of WoW theme park elements and a lot of combat and raids and parties and stuff. It's WoW. It's like a Final Fantasy WoW. 11 paid beautiful homage to everything Square ever did. 11 was the better game.
That complaint is off the mark. Like, I don't understand what you mean by that. I don't think you mean.
If a game has rolling and iframes, it's Dark Souls. It's just that simple. Yeah. So if you can roll or you can iframe things, it's Dark Souls.
Fantasy settings. There have been fantasy settings in Final Fantasy games forever. Is that it's trying to be more adult, more mature, have sexual situations, violence, swearing in that fantasy setting? I mean, you probably didn't play or like Final Fantasy Tactics then, because that game is Game of Thrones as shit. And it's not even a mainline game. Adult themes have been part of Final Fantasy for decades. The only difference is, culturally, we're in a place where the average video game player is 30-something. And the
Really? Holy shit.
developers, and more importantly, the translators who are responsible for making a lot of the previous Final Fantasy games more kid-friendly, they're like, oh, we don't have to hide our adult story under the veneer of teen or kid-friendly anymore.
Yeah, like, I mean, Final Fantasy 16, that game is raw. That shit is raw as hell.
Just some examples off the top of my head. Final Fantasy VI had genocide, suicide, slavery, and much worse, but that's spoilers. 7 literally had a scene where a man tries to rape one or more of the main characters. Hell, there's straight up a story about forcing 2 characters into interspecies sex. One of the main themes of 9 is a child coming to terms with life, death, and
there's even there's an implied rape plotline of Final Fantasy 16. Like, I'm not gonna give it away or anything like that, but there is an implication.
What any of it's for. Hell, 10 is about the corruption of religion. There are so many examples I couldn't possibly remember all of them or spell them out for you, but I'm sure people in the comments will, and that's what rubs me wrong about all of this.
Well, None of it's... look at, like, Final Fantasy 14. The reason why those stories are good is because it doesn't caricature the bad people as just universally horrible people that's all there is to it, right? Like, they actually are, it's a genuine struggle of ideals.
The asteroid is depleted.
To show you how they got that way. Yeah, exactly. Final Fantasy 14 already has real world politics to it. Yeah, they have, like, the old refugee thing. I think that's the first one that comes to mind. For sure.
New? Even the complaints. You don't even have to go far back to see examples of that. When Final Fantasy 12 came out, fans thought it was a little too mature and serious compared to 10 and 10-2, which had some mature themes but were presented differently. When 7 came out, sure, it was praised by many people, but at the same time, reviewers would...
One of the big reasons is that they had 2 So like at that time, a lot of the people who were 30 now were like 14 then, 13, you know, like, so this was like a really, really good game.
Say stuff like, the storytelling is lengthy, involved, and definitely too dialogue heavy for preteen attention spans. There's also swear words in adult situations.
Yeah.
Or, but while most Japanese RPGs are happy to adopt an if it's not broke, don't fix it attitude in bringing their titles across from these 16-bit days, Final Fantasy VII has decided to divorce itself almost entirely from its predecessors and tip the whole genre on its head. Look, it's more than okay to not like a game for any number of reasons. If you don't like 16, that's fine. But to say it's not Final Fantasy or leaving fans behind is an insult to the legacy of what these games are. They're all unique. They're all different and willing to try unique and different things. That's what makes them special. So while you may not like the changes they made to this one, like how I didn't like 13, it's still exactly what it has always been. Taking chances.
It doesn't have to be, like, not every single one has to be exactly what you want, you know?
Pushing boundaries and trying to reach a new audience. That's what makes it such a fun franchise. You can be a fan of 8 or 12 or 4 or 6 or 16 or maybe just 7. But I promise you, for the vast majority of fans, even you watching right now, you most likely became a fan because of a risk or change that might have upset another player.
It's actually a really, really good fucking point. That's actually, yeah, wow.
They got you hooked. There is no My Final Fantasy. There's just Final Fantasy.
Holy shit.
Good, bad, and everything in between.
That was really good. Holy shit.
Oh no.
Wow. Really good.
Oh no.
It was just a really, really good video. And he's
Oh no, what do I do now? I better lead them away from the base.
of Final Fantasy, because of Final Fantasy VII, which apparently took a lot of risks from back in the day. And I always liked the little sprites, you know, I especially liked the little black mage sprite with like the little
Oh yeah.
dark face.
Vivi.
Those were so cool, man. Play Blue Protocol on VPN, please. I'll get banned. Go ban me. Jesse's almost at 1 million subs. I'll give you guys a link when you guys can give him some subs. Help me get there, man. Very good game. I need to play it, man. I really do. Anyone shown Zach those stylish Final Fantasy 16 I feel like I've done some pretty good combos myself, okay? Like, I mean, come on. What the fuck? Well, anyway, yeah. I think that Final Fantasy next time around, especially, I think Dragon's Dogma 2 is actually going to be, if it's as good as Dragon's Dogma 1 is, and people like it as much, I think that if it comes out and it is as good as the first one and as good as people say it will be, I think that it will shift the genre. I think it will shift the entire thing. I'm going to be playing Dragon's Dogma 1.
Really?
I'll be playing it probably next month, realistically. That's my plan. I want to play it next month. Yeah, I do think that it will shift the entire genre. And I think that we'll see elements of what people kind of explain Dragon's Dogma has. I think we'll probably see that in Final Fantasy 17 as a response.
I missed the Final Fantasy because they won't put it on PC. It's so
I
annoying.
think the critics of Final Fantasy 16 are just like the guys.
I'm sure 16 is great.
See a picture
Yep.
of an obviously really hot girl on Twitter, and they comment, pointy elbows, pointy knees, 2 out of 10. Not for me. That's the kind of way that people. That's the kind of people that are ranking Final Fantasy 16 as a 4. Is it a 10 though? Maybe not. I haven't finished the game. I think that right now, I would say the game is a 9.5.
Really?
It might go to a 10 depending on how it ends. But yeah, right now I'm saying it's a 9.5. Before you touch the game, you think it'll be you said it would be game of the year? Don't you think that's weird? Not really. I mean, I could have probably told you that Zelda was probably going to be one of the contenders for game of the year before it came out too. Because I know Nintendo.
What the fuck? Oh, damn it. Trying to stay out of this. Oh, damn it. This was such a long run for to die over and over again. He keeps hunting for me. I don't know how he found me. He got lucky. He got lucky twice, which is so annoying to me. He'll just keep sleeping me. It's so annoying. He's like trying to find my body or something. He can't catch me. He'll have to unstealth. Watch. He'll have to unstealth if he wants to. And now I've lost him. Ha ha! Bitch. And now I go out in the water pretty far and I wait for them to leave because I'm not here to fuck with them. See, the PvP is gone in me after yesterday. It's totally gone. I'll admit it.
The asteroid is depleted.
Damn it. Oh, yeah, the power fluctuated, but the computer didn't die. I definitely probably DC'd on all my games, yeah. Okay, well, at least I didn't lose the computer. Oh, yes I did. No, wait. Nope. Not yet. So I've got to pause the recording here, guys, because, yeah, the power might die. So I'm just going to pause until it's looking better. Maybe not. Maybe we're okay. But still, yeah, it'll be a minute before my internet's back up. So, but hey, the beautiful part about the recording is it doesn't really stop. We have a bad storm here. The rain stopped, which is crazy. I thought it would last all day. But no, it's dead quiet. Yeah, the rain stopped, which is good. Power lines keep tripping. I think we've had probably a transformer blew or something. Gotta wait for all the stuff to connect. Gotta wait for my router to untrip and my VPN to connect and to get on all the games again. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm full-blown DC'd. Yeah, sorry. Well, good news is we can play a different game while we wait for all of it to come back up again. That's always good. Stick with me, I'll learn ya. Always got to have a game running. And plus the music in this game is super fucking good. Did this end? Yeah, it did end, huh? Yeah, it ended like right as I... It's unfortunate. The mod's different for beta sounds. Maybe I better start over then. I'm gonna delete this. Yeah, just delete the game and we'll start over. It's kind of unfortunate. Or not we're gonna do a new game. Classic roleplay. Checkpointing is settlements, huh? Roleplay, classic. Lose your character when you die. Wander. Most creatures begin neutral to you. No XP for killing. Daily one chance with a fixed world in the world. See, I think we do classic. Yeah, we just do classic. Mutated human. We're still not... Oh, we are up. We are up now. Okay. So then let's retry the connection and let's get back in all these. Sorry about that, guys. Got a power fluctuation there that while it didn't trip my computer, it did trip my fucking internet. I don't understand. It was cool that we didn't lose power, but yeah. Maybe it's because water's getting in the power cord, maybe. But at least the rain ended, so hopefully it won't be so bad. Okay, good. Looking good. Got the tablet monitor back up. And we're on WoW. We're getting back in. God damn it. Can't do anything. Can't do anything. Why? I could have killed him. I just like, man, I don't know why he was suddenly instantly dead. It was so annoying. Well, I can't wait to just delete my character. Oh well. What happened to the music? Oh, I like this music though. So annoying. I should have stealthed. I could have killed him. He was low health. I could have gotten him and shut him out. I will too. I'll sit there and I'll wait stealth till something happens to one of them. They pull a mob or something. I'll fucking waste him while his pet's busy. R. F. So I'm so like, oh god damn it! How am I alive? Where am I? Okay. Well, I'll loot this, but the chances of me like getting out of this situation in the dark are pretty low. DC in the middle of the night sucks. See why I left humanity? I can't be friends with anybody. I'm just not a nice enough person anymore. Not after being fucked by the world so much. For no good goddamn reason at all. And, see, I'm just not a nice person anymore. Don't have it in me anymore. Not interested. Don't need the friendship. Don't care if I irked ya. Don't want ya. Don't need ya. I'm sorry. I'm not the nice person you're looking for. Not anymore. I used to be for many years until they killed me. I mean, they fucking killed me. I woke up 5 days later in a fucking, like, you know... I'm just saying, like, you know, they killed me. I'm gone. I'm not some person that can have a friendship or be normal or be around other people. I was in the madhouse for 2 years. I'm not lying about that. I'm certifiable. I'm not your friend. I'm not here to talk to you. Trying to keep it me. Try to keep it just like, you know, personal record with... Oh no. Oh no. I can't see. Ah! Ah! Stop trying to get off. I don't know where... I don't know how to find my base without the sunlight. It's so annoying. I was gonna run around, but that's a really bad idea. Kind of. Because then I'll never make it back, and I kind of do have loot. I need to stay by the road until the sun rises here. I think I'm further than... my base. And I think my base is just right off the beaten path here somewhere. But I really don't know. I don't know in the dark. I really don't know. I am totally lost. If I'm at the road, that's kind of good. I suppose I could climb a pylon till daytime. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm on the right road anymore. I might have to die. Yeah, this is good, but I'm gonna get out now. Sorry. A little loud. You know, fix it later. I'm gonna be able to hear them breathing. Oh, no, this leads to a monument? Son of a bitch. Where am I? What is this? It's too close to road. Yeah, too close to road, too close to airfield. Shit, I'm at airfield? Son of a bitch, I have no idea where I am. Well, okay. I can trace the road back. Oh, God. Get off me. You're so annoying. Patrol? Yeah, patrol. Zombies on my heels. Like, I try to explain the damage to people, but I think they think I'm just acting like all the other streamers. I'm not acting, motherfucker. I was in the madhouse for 2 years. I'm completely dysfunctional. I don't want the friendship. I don't like seeing the same people every day. I don't care about repeat patronage. If you sub, thank you for your wonderful support, and I love you, and thank you. But I am not a normal person. I don't have the bandwidth to deal with people anymore. I have brain damage and I'm fucked up. And it's obvious. And it's like, and I'm broken. And even showing up at the wrong time in my stream can set me off. And yes, that's my fault. It is not yours. It's my fault. So annoying. I dislike the guilt trip because I feel like I'm being manipulated. It's my stream. I can do what I want. Like, yeah, thank you for the patronage. Thank you for the subs. You know, I didn't, I guess I do ask for donations, but mainly it's like, I don't beg people for donos. Thank you for showing your love. I appreciate it. You were a valued member of my community, but why do I stream instead of only record? Why do you stream instead of only record videos? Doesn't matter. Whatever, doesn't matter. Why do I stream? Why is this conversation continuing? I said this is way, way more. Whatever, doesn't matter. Have a nice life. Don't get in my prime. So you talk a lot about the barrier curse. Won't be getting my prime sub anymore. I'm sorry. If I could refund it to you, I would. Which, I mean, I don't think I can refund the sub, but I don't know. I'll give you $5 back if you want. I'm not after your money. The donations are there for my family. Honestly, the money's going to my family. Like, you know. So, you know, look, you seem to really care that I unban you. That is the behavior of somebody who is in the attack circle. Do you understand? Anybody normal would just go watch a nice, happy streamer who wants your attention and wants you to pay attention to them and will talk to you and all that stuff, right? That is not my vibe anymore. It was the first 4 months I did this. It's not that way anymore. I don't want to talk. I don't want to worry about this. I'm sorry that you lost your sub. I'll unban you, I guess. But I mean, don't talk, you know? Like, don't talk. I'll unban you. Who else is in here? Is it another sock puppet? Yeah, another sock puppet, huh? Gonna ban it. Sorry. What? Then why do you stream instead of only record videos? What do you mean? I do both. I stream for 14 hours a day, and I record for 14 hours a day. The videos are on my YouTube, which is why I'm like, what does it matter if you're banned? But I'll unban you, I guess, you know? Just don't take up my headspace, please, you know? Hold on. No, I don't trust you, Aquinas. It's best that we part ways. I don't trust you. I'm sorry. It's like the result of years and years of abuse. I just don't trust you. I don't trust you in my channel. I'm sorry. Something about you is off to me. How desperate you are to get back in the channel is off to me. How many things you've written is off to me. The fact that I dissed you and you're trying to get back in, it just seems like you're him. It just seems like you're in his crew. It seems like you're trying to play me. I'm sorry that if it's not the case, you know, I understand that it might not be the case, but it's what it fucking seems like. You seem just as desperate as him. It seems kind of weird. You can watch me on my YouTube for the rest of my life. I'm not removing the ban. And I'm sorry for your Prime sub. If you want, I'll pitch you $5. I'll give you your $5 back if you want. You know? Because it's not about the money. Like, you know, it's like the donations are there to keep the fucking power bills and the internet paid and help my family. You know, it's not like I'm trying to get famous off this, or that I care what you think, or that I need the money, or that, you know. And I'm sorry that the money was an issue for you, and you, like everybody else that I banned, brought it up. Everybody brings it up. Everybody seems to think I'm making a ton of money doing this or something, or that, you know, that I'm after your money and then I just want to kick you. I don't want to talk. It was clear. I've been clear as day for many, 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 many months. I don't want to talk. The negativity is around me whether I do anything or not. It's not my fault. It's just there. I didn't make it like this. I didn't make the government attack me, or the man attack me, or this cyberbully attack me, or this weird manipulative trip, or any of this stuff. It's not a true ban. It's a safety thing. I need to explain it to you in a better way. Can't have you in my Twitch channel, because you might be with him. I really do think you're with him. Sorry. I really do think you're with him. I think you and Lucas, all these people you want to see, it's just because the names always show up at the exact same fucking time. I don't believe in coincidences. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I'm just going with what I believe. You understand me? The detective side of me is like fucking, yeah, it stinks like yesterday's diaper. It just does. It sucks. It sucks. Like, you have a good personality, but I don't believe that you're not with him. I don't believe that you're not with him in any way or form. I'm sorry. You always show up at the exact same time that he does. Every time. You're always there, either showing up or leaving exactly as he does. You know, I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe that you're not with him. I'm sorry. So, there's a system for this. You aren't the first one. I have banned thousands of people out of this channel. If you still like me, thank you for your sub. I'm not saying F you to you or anything like that. I'm saying I don't trust you. And I'm sorry. This might be my own damage or whatever, you know, or it might be my own paranoia or whatever. It's negative. But I don't trust you. You can sit in my YouTube channel and watch me for the rest of my life on a safe platform where you cannot harm me. You cannot sit in my Twitch channel and kibitz with that fucking stream sniper, or you just might directly be him. And I'm sorry. So for my security, I must constrain you to my YouTube channel, as I do all of the other people that I banned here today. And I'm sorry, if you were under the same attacks, you would act the same. And I'm not trying to be negative to you, am I? Have I cussed at you? And by the way, I'm sorry. Now look, you can just see the fucking sock puppets fucking pop. Yeah, sure. Fuck off now. And see, it's just like, while you're distracting me here, sock puppets are immediately popping in, which makes me think that you're just, you know, yeah. You reported my Twitch, huh? Thanks. Yeah, all right. Go ahead. Yeah, have a nice life, sir. I'm sorry I irked you. You know, nothing personal. I don't trust you. I'm sure you did report me. Thank you for that. I didn't do anything to you. I've never done anything to you. I've kicked you out of my channel when you lost my trust. And you take up a lot of my headspace, and I'm sorry, but I've been very clear about that. And I'm sorry. You know, we are not compatible. Never were. And join the big group of thousands of other people, you know. We're not compatible. Thanks for the report. You have a nice life, sir. This is what I get. See, guys? See, this is what I get, right? I sit there and I give thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. What's a movie cost? $27 fucking dollars? I'll give thousands and thousands of hours of entertainment to people. And for their $5, they socially manipulate you. They report you. They treat you like fucking garbage. They take up your fucking headspace. They break the rules of your fucking channel and all this other shit. And it's like, Jesus Christ, this is what it's like. You want to talk about the negativity as you report me. I didn't do shit to you but kick you off. You know what I'm saying? You can go make another Twitch account and watch me for the rest of your fucking life. Like you can go on my YouTube and watch you can go to YouTube and watch me if you want, you know? Like reporting me is like, for what? for banning you. I don't trust you. Twitch is gonna understand that when I appeal the ban. They'd be like, no, I don't trust this guy. I think he's with a cabal of hackers, and I think they're desperate to stay in my fucking channel as they pop sock puppets all day. Yep, there you go. See it? As they pop sock puppets all day. What? I'm almost glad, motherfucker. That's what motherfucking Rival is. It's 15 points from Glad. It's the top 0.5% of the community. Something you'll never be in all of your whole fucking life. Go Google it, you piece of shit, and suck my dick. See it? I don't think you're any different from them. I think you're in there doing the same shit to me, trying to emotionally fucking manipulate me, fucking report me and ban me and treat me like shit for trying to entertain you. I don't think you're any better than them. I think you're with them. To fucking ban me for fucking like hours and hours of entertainment. For what? I have not asked you to do anything but be quiet. That's it. And you fucking report me? Yeah. Notice how it's always a 2v1. Always. Most streamers, they kick on a whiff. You understand me? For many, 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 many months, I have not trusted you. And I'm sorry, I let you ride for a long, 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 long time. It's a lot worse than you might think it was. I thought about this for a long time. How many times did I ban you? Like 4 times, and I unbanned you 3. Because you constantly make me worried. And that's and my instincts are just like, no, he's with them. And so yeah, and the 4th time, yeah, it's just like, Jesus Christ, man, like the 4th time now. It's not, I'm not undoing it this time. No. I'm sorry, I don't trust you. And, you know, if it's a mistake, I'm sorry. But if it's a mistake, you're too nice for me. You know what I'm saying? You're too nice to be in my channel. If it's a mistake and you're a nice guy, you're too nice to be here. Go find a nice streamer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try not to hide. I try to hide. I guess I do try to hide this element of my personality from people. But I'm not going to hide it. Like, I'm not a nice person. Life has not been good to me. You know what I'm saying? Most of my friends are dead. My family's mostly dead. We've got 1 surviving family member. All my heroes are fucking dead. The world has attacked me over and over and over again, just like right now, what you're doing to me right now. All I try to do is fucking provide entertainment for you, and all you do is attack me. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody comes in here and attacks me all the fucking time. All I try to do is just entertain you. That's it. And you got to make an emotional trip, and you got to fucking report me after thousands of hours of free entertainment. I don't ask you to do anything but be quiet, and then say you make it about like some kind of fucking trip, and you report me. It is. You are a naive child. It is accurate. I'm sorry I called your name, but it is accurate. Only naive children act like this. Only interminably online naive children types, not child, but like naive children types act like this. They don't only children like emotionally manipulate full-grown men like this and attack full-grown men like this as a hobby or something like that or whatever. And I don't trust you. I'm sorry, but I don't. And if it's, you know, if that's unfounded, I'm terribly sorry, but it doesn't change the fact that I don't trust you. So I banned you. It's a hard thing when you're out there and you're fucking target of the government, the people, the fucking bullies, the cyber attacks, the fucking threats on your family, all this other stupid ass shit system and all this. Like fucking, you know, you learn to look out for yourself. Oop, what's this? I will fucking kill you. Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh. And I'm sorry that it went badly. But I mean, join the club. No one ever, not my, like maybe my mother, you know, no one ever has managed to do it. If it makes you feel any better. No one's managed to stay my friend. Not a single person in the entire world. So don't feel bad that you failed out here today. It's a big, big club, you know. You're not the only one. Sorry you experienced what it's like to be Skycat or be around Skycat. You know, sorry. You know, it's happened to me so much in my life that, you know, I will not apologize. You know, people can't stand genius without an apology. You want an apology from me? I will not do it. But hopefully we can, you know, find peace and be brothers again someday, you know. It was nice while we had it. Thanks for the report. Eh. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh.
So first of all, Donald Trump just got mentioned, and it has a lot to do with these things right here on the court files. These are directly from Pacer.com. I'll have them linked on ehack.com so you can see them all for free, because otherwise you have to pay like $30 to get the 328 pages. But anyway, Donald Trump gets mentioned in this. Videotapes of Epstein filming Richard Branson from Virgin Galactic, Clinton mentioning this. I'm going to go through all of these mentions, and you're going to see everything about Donald Trump as well. But I want to be really clear, at least as of this
Oh, come on, Sean. Donald Trump's never met Jeffrey.
And I want to be exceptionally clear because, you know, generally I respect this account on Twitter, and I've been looking at all these documents myself, and I thought, you know what, let's just see what they're saying. I have not seen any mention on their account. This is Mario's account on Twitter. I have not seen, when I look at Trump, I don't see any mentions to what you're about to see regarding Trump on any of these recent posts from Mario on Twitter, which is weird because X has been known to start maybe leaning more right. Mario, you're saying you're unbiased, bro. Put this up because it's in the same files. Now, again, I don't have a horse in this race. I don't care. I'm just going to show you all the documents in the 328 pages, and this is what they're hiding. This is what the Twitter is not showing right now. And again, we don't know if this is true. These are in the court files. You could go to Pacer.com, sign up for an account, and get them yourself. I don't want you to think like I'm somehow biased and showing something versus not. I'm just going to put it all up. The case number, if you want to put it in, it's 1:15-CV-07433-LAP. You actually don't even have to put the LAP in. It comes up without
Connecting.
Okay, that's a weird word. But anyway, this appears to be, and we don't know, this could all be bullcrap. All of the case documents could be bullcrap, right? So let's be very clear about that. But what we do know is that this document is within the entire file set. You could go to page 316 if you do it in order. And it says here, this is all it starts with. Like, there's nothing before it. It just says Exhibit 6, and then it literally says this. Several girls at any one time. She confided in me about her casual friendship with Donald. Mr. Trump definitely seemed to have a thing for her, and she told me how he kept going on about how he liked her pert nipples. Donald Trump liked flicking and sucking her nipples until they were raw. One evening, when we were showering together, she showed me her nipples. They looked incredibly painful as they were red and swollen, and I remember wincing when I looked at them. I also knew she had sexual relations with Trump at Jeffrey's New York mansion on regular occasions, as I once met Jen for coffee. So, Virginia, who is one of the plaintiffs in this case, goes by the nickname Jenna, which could be shortened Jen here. We don't know with certainty. So I wrote Virginia, because I think it's Virginia. Now, if you look at the bottom of this, it actually says that this file is an exhibit from Ransom, whom we believe to be Sarah Ransom. Sarah Ransom was 22 in 2006 when she was supposedly first abused by Jeffrey Epstein. And according to her, via the Daily Mail, a JP Morgan employee told her not to report the abuses she dealt with the Epsteins. Remember, Epstein was a JP Morgan client from 1998 to 2013. I added all this red text here, right? But what's interesting is Virginia started working for Epstein allegedly when she was 16 to 17 in 1999 to 2000. That would make Virginia underage. Sarah is talking about Virginia when but the problem is Sarah didn't start working for Epstein allegedly until 2006. But by 2006, Virginia wouldn't have been 16 to 17, she would have been 22 to 23. So is it possible that Donald Trump is involved or was involved? Yes. Does this suggest Donald Trump was involved with Virginia when Virginia was underage? No. This does not suggest that Donald Trump was involved when Virginia was underage. The most this alleges is that Donald Trump, well, fondled a girl's nipples who was between 22 and 23 named Virginia. That's really what this document alleges about Trump. I do think it's interesting that certain groups are hiding this and are not talking about this. I don't know why, but I guess that's just how the game is played on social media. Maybe it's unpopular to do it, but my thing is, what can I do to just provide both sides? And you make your opinion. I have no horse in this race. I don't care. So, okay, now this is the Clinton part, okay? This is another one where it cuts off. It goes Exhibit 5, and then it goes, whilst he spanked his thingy on her bottom. And we don't know who his is here. It's cut off. She also had to have, so it makes it sound like she was forced. She also had to have sexual intercourse with Clinton in Epstein's New York mansion just off 5th Avenue on numerous occasions. Yes, I do see the comment here. Yes, it is possible that Virginia's, business was paid for, but we don't know. But anyway, okay, back to this. She also had to have sexual intercourse with Clinton in Epstein's New York mansion off 5th Avenue on numerous occasions. It's the New York mansion we spoke about yesterday. I, too, was forced by Epstein to visit regularly. And this is Sarah Ransom again. And if I didn't turn up, he would personally come and find me wherever I was hiding. It bewilders me how Epstein always seemed to know where I was if I didn't turn up at his New York residence. When my friend had sexual intercourse with Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group, Virgin Galactic, whatever, sex tapes were in fact filmed on each separate occasion by Jeffrey. Huge allegation. Thank God she managed to get a hold of some footage of the filmed sex tapes, which clearly identify the faces of Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Branson having sexual intercourse with her. Frustratingly enough, Epstein was not seen in any of the footage, but he was clever like that. I'm gonna remember. Give me like 10 minutes after I post this video. I'll have this link on ehack.com so you could just see my annotations on the actual documents where I'm reading this from. And then that way you can look at it, or just go to paster.com and find it yourself. You just have to pay for it if you go there. Okay, after 2 hours of trying to convince, that's where I just put all my research, by the way. Look, I'm a finance guy. I usually don't get involved in this kind of drama, but this is like political drama and has big implications for the election, which obviously has implications for finance. So we want to cover it. Anyway, after 2 hours of trying to convince my friend to come forward with me, I eventually managed to persuade her to send me some of the video footage, which she kept, implicating all 3 men mentioned above. Obviously, at this point, we haven't seen any of this video footage. We haven't seen any like screenshots from it or whatever. But this is just Sarah Ransom saying, I can personally confirm that I have with my own 2 eyes seen the evidence of these sexual acts, which clearly identifies Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Richard Branson as having sexual intercourse with my friend. No Donald Trump not being mentioned in this portion. I will be more than willing to swear under oath and testify in court over these sex tapes. It will break your heart. Why swear and testify under oath? Just show the videos. It will break your heart into a million tiny pieces, Maureen. This is an email to a reporter, I believe, named Maureen. When you watch this footage, and I know what I watched yesterday, it will haunt me for the rest of my life. She made me feel like a dirty whore, and I wasn't taken seriously. This is when she argues, or her friend went to the police station to report that she had been abused. She argues she was humiliated by the police department. They didn't believe her. When she tried to sue Epstein for damages, she was severely bullied and threatened by his lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, whom she also had sexual relationship with, and who was also heavily involved in the Epstein pedophile ring. A couple months later, she was approached by Special Forces men sent directly by Hillary Clinton herself. They heavily intimidated her, ruffled her up, and was then forced to sign a confidentiality agreement which ensures she can never come forward publicly implicating her husband. She was then given a substantial payout directly from the Clinton Foundation to keep her quiet. She is 100% certain that the FBI did a cover-up, and she had the individual names of Hillary's special officers involved in intimidating her. She was then forced against her will to sign a legally binding confidentiality agreement on Hillary's behalf for her eternal silence. If she breaks the agreement, she is dead. I personally met Alan on multiple times. Jeffrey sent him to my legal aid to deal with a case I opened against Redacted, whom I met through the online website sugardaddy.com. And so also tried to rape me with his friend. Okay, so a lot of huge allegations there. The other things that you want to see are just from these ransom files are the style of some of these emails. So we need to get the other girls to come forward. Maureen, as they are all afraid. There are more girls, Maureen. More than you can imagine. They're scared. And I am. But Jeffrey, Clinton, and Trump must pay for what they did to us. And the rest of men that were involved in their seedy inner circle. We have to get the rest of the girls to come forward somehow. Okay, that's another one. And we've got one right here. Now this starts sounding a little unhinged because you see the exclamation marks and we can call it passion or what. But anyway, I'm strong.
It's unhinged. It was the correct word.
If you do not publish my story, woo, I've already corresponded with the Moscow police and aid them in stopping Hillary and Trump in getting through. I will film my own interview and post it on all of my own social media. I've emailed WikiLeaks and Anonymous. Like, there is clearly some desperation here by Ransom to get her story out. And that is leading some people to question the legitimacy of her allegations against what she saw with her friend's relationship, with potentially Donald Trump, and the nipple argument, as well as the Clinton video footage, or Richard Branson footage.
Oops.
Sarah Ransom here says, mark my words, I will make sure that neither that evil bitch Hillary or that pedophile Trump gets elected. I will make sure that everybody on the photos will release.
Listening to these crazy people is hilarious.
Epstein and his bunch of F-wit cronies myself.
Fuckwit cronies? Who the fuck talks like that? It's like some kind of Reddit boomer who's played too much WoW, maybe, who, like, what did he say? He said fuckwit, what was this now? It was so funny. He was like, fuckwit cronies. It sounds like a Reddit tool with on a power trip. It sounds like a Reddit mod on a power trip, I guess, is the meme. Fuckwit cronies. Who the fuck uses language like that? I mean, I guess I use like weird language sometimes like that too. Like I call, I say billionaire software despots, because despot is a word you don't hear that commonly, but that's exactly what they are, though. That's exactly what they are. That's the perfect word for what they are. So that's the word I use. They're billionaire software despots. But it's just as silly and fucky as saying fuckwit cronies. Because, I mean, yeah, I would say Jeffrey and his friends were fuckwit cronies, but it sounds really weird and Reddit mod when you say it. And it makes me crack out, and kind of, because it's sort of like it's just like those unhinged like Twitter tweets we listened to earlier. It's like sounds sort of like some of that stuff, like these fuckwit cronies. Sounds like Snaggly from like the Smurfs, or no, who was it, Mr. Sneed or something? Who was the bad person in the Smurf? Gargamel. It reminds me of like Gargamel from the Smurfs. He's like, I will get you fuckwit cronies. It's almost like it's almost I don't know what the word would be. It's there needs to be a descriptive word for when somebody's interminably online, but they're also like on a power trip. It's I don't know. I can't think of it. I don't know what the word would be.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. the shit that this guy has to deal with is so funny. You couldn't pay me enough to do this shit. I will never say okay. Okay. So notice how it seems like it's his job to cover this stuff. That's what I'm saying. My job will never be to cover this stuff. And you couldn't possibly that couldn't possibly fall to me because I'm just unhinged, just like them. I'll make crazy comments. You know, I couldn't do the response stuff like that or whatever response stuff like this. Not really. I like listening to him do it, and I'm responding to him. But I'm responding to him. I'm not responding to the stuff he's talking about. The stuff he's talking about, I would end up just saying the wrong thing over and 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 over again. I'm not PC thug like this guy. I'll just say whatever the fuck I want to say, and so I know better than to talk about this stuff. I know better. I know, you know, it's not like I'm against it or well, I'm against some of it, yeah, or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know this whole mess. I'm against a lot of it. I mean, I'm definitely against Jeffrey. I'm talking about the weird way that they talk, you know? I don't know. That I think it's just sort of a sign of people who live on forums and talk through text message a lot and DMs and all this. I don't know, and I don't necessarily think it's like a bad thing that they talk like, you know, what did he say? He said fuckwit cronies, right? I don't think it's a bad thing. It just stinks of internet, that phrase. It's kind of like a video gamer's diss. It's like, you fuckwit crony. It's such a funny phrase, actually. Fuckwit cronies. I mean, yeah, I would say Jeffrey's whole cabal was a bunch of fuckwit cronies. It fits, but it's not the sort of phrase that you would hear in polite conversation. It stinks of deep web, not deep web, but like deep dregs of the internet where there's no censorship. It stinks of that. Fuckwit cronies. It stinks of an unrefined internet personality. It doesn't really speak of somebody who should be listened to by like, say, the mainstream media or even like YouTube, maybe a little bit. It's somebody who's a little bit deeper in the internet than that, you know? I don't know. Not that mainstream media is good. I'm just saying, like, but like, that's often the test, right? Can you talk in public on CNN or Fox or something, right? Can you do that? Can you talk in public without sounding like the QAnon shaman? You know? Can you do that? I don't even think Trump can. Trump can't speak in public without sounding like QAnon shaman. You know? So I don't know. It's like this weird thing. So like, I'm saying, like, that's not necessarily that bad. It just isn't good. I don't think it's the sort of like stuff you would hear, really.
Financially destitute and was suffering from depression, lured her into their commercial sex trafficking ring with the false promises of taking care of her and paying for her education if she complied with their demands. Okay.
Oh, good. So we'll put you through college if you suck his dingling. But she's like, what, 13 or something? It's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. It's like, man, yeah, I mean, the fuckwit cronies isn't good enough, you know? That's the real problem with it. It's not good enough. It's fuckwit shomos. Fuckwit shomos, I think, would have actually been kind of pretty aggro, but accurate. And, oh, is anybody going to have any sympathy for child molesters being called shomos? No, I don't think so. No. So, yeah, and that would be a better phrase than fuckwit cronies, I think. Because cronies are like, you know, goons. I mean, I would say a bunch of Jeffrey's cabal were definitely goons. All of them were. But when I think crony, I think guards who stand outside the door and get knocked out by James Bond on the way in to kill Goldfinger or whatever, or Goldmember or whatever the fuck his name. I don't really follow spy movies very much. I don't like spies. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, like, so fuckwit chomos, I think, would have fit, but that's even deeper web. And that's even more inappropriate, but that's what I would have said. I would have said fuckwit chomos. Fuckwit cronies, and it implies that a bunch of them are standing outside his door, just sort of ushering the business people in. That's what I think when I think crony. Like, but chomos sounds like sex ring, which is what he was doing. It was in all of his fuckwit chomos. So the language, it was crude and it was weird. And it also wasn't good enough.
That's interesting. Then we have the. Let's get to some of the other highlights we have here. It's
328 pages. We need a Warren report on this, I guess. You guys are guilty like 9/11, huh? You did this like you did 9/11, didn't you? You were all buying on underage hookers. Oh my god. All of you were buying underage hookers every time you come to the Capitol, huh? And he was like the DC Beltway fucking pimp. I mean, we all knew this, but it's just like, it's hard. It keeps kind of sinking into me. Like how much of the government is implicit in this, and the way they're acting seems so guilty, like JFK and 9/11. There's cover-ups here and all this shit. It sucks that Jeffrey Epstein ended up being such a big fucking, I don't know what you would call this, like dog whistle, I guess. Such a big fucking dog whistle for the QAnon people, which in a way I respect the QAnon people because I think they're at least trying to figure out what these fucking slave drivers are actually doing with their lives, you know? I don't know if I respect their whole like kind of coming out of the webwork thing about it, but like, you know, and being crazy about it. But I don't know, like, you know, but I don't know if what they believe is wrong. And that's the problem. When I look at Bill Gates' stammer, I'm like, you know, seems like you guys were buying underage hookers. It seems like it's not that hard of a thing to say, but in the modern culture. And I'm not trying to play it down like it was okay. I'm not shaming the victims or any of that shit. You know, I'm not saying that you know. Anyways, gotta pop out here. Yep, no bleed. Oh, he resisted. So try again. There it is. There it is. Got a good night's 10 seconds here. I'm learning. I never played Druid really, except for like Mop, I think it was, or no, yeah, like a Kata. When it was easy to level. You could get like all the heirlooms on. And you could level so easy. The ones that are 4 levels higher than Cap are pretty insane. And I'm glad that I'm able to solo them. But also, I don't know. I mean, the loot that they drop is pretty good, I'd say. Sort of. I'm hoping for a blue drop, I think. Is why I'm out here. And I should be on Whelps, but I have this feeling that it's taken. So I'm out here where I feel like I can actually get something done. Excuse me.
Epstein testified in this file drop. This is the January 8th file drop here. We do have some background on Sarah Ransom, basically arguing that she provides pictures, that these all came from Ransom, that she was involved. So the files are labeled Ransom, which is just a crazy ironic last name. But anyway.
Why are you hanging out with all these girls? It's like really creepy.
Here are some other girls, including Nadia, who is involved. Here's Nadia multiple other times, photos, defended. Multiple photos over here. There's that Jean-Luc Brunel, who was alleged by Virginia to have sex with Virginia when she was underage. This is a photo of Sarah Ransom. This was interesting as well. This argument here that, could you please tell Jeffrey to phone me on the item or the number I gave him ASAP, as I'm not prepared to go under 56 kg, which is about 123.5 pounds. To join to study at FIT. I think that's the Fashion Institute of Technology. I'm not exactly sure about that. That FIT is that, but that is what's being alleged here.
Sounds like it.
Okay, so then let's see here. This is another interesting one. Okay, let's throw this up on screen here. Maxwell bullied me. Look at this one. Ransom. Well, in fact, she used to personally call me herself to give Jeffrey massages, not body
Oops.
massages, sexual massages. It should be rephrased. I mean, it was pretty obvious. I mean, the whole weight thing. I tried to swim off the island. I tried to escape from an island during the evening and tried to escape from her because I didn't lose weight. They would cut me out of their financially off. So cut her off financially, basically. I would lose the place I was staying at. I would lose my education, you name it. They bullied me with everything, just like they did with the other girls. There are many allegations in these documents that there are many other girls. There are also allegations or suggestions here that Ransom was listed on flight logs to Epstein's Island. And there's a screenshot of those. Although these flight logs, I don't know if they're just using, you know, nicknames here or acronyms, or if Ransom's written in there in small letters or something. It could be. It's very difficult
The asteroid is depleted.
from this PDF document. So that's something else that came up. And if we go to the summaries, summary text, most of this we've gone through, but quickly, if you want to yourself, you can go to page 136 and you can read some more of the key testimony. Defendant's direct involvement. This is all about Sarah Ransom today. These are the Ransom messages. Clarifying that body massages meant sex, that massages were sex. We've heard that before. Maxwell was Epstein's main right-hand woman between 2006 and 2007. And here's more information about seeing with her own eyes how other girls reported to them, how younger girls reported to them. And let's see here. Let's see if there's anything else that's new in this summary here. I don't think there is. I don't have anything else highlighted, but we'll do a quick little look. Girls were paid to recruit other girls. Maxwell was paid for the recruitment of younger females, including you, what she told me. Apart from what she told you, do you have any other basis for this? Well, I saw it with my own eyes. I was a witness. What did you witness? I witnessed the same thing all the other girls did. The same thing I had to do was go and report for Sarah, Leslie, and Maxwell. Maxwell obviously being the last, the top person, deemed to be Mama Bear. Then we've got Jeffrey then went on. Jeffrey went into bed on plane, having open sex with Nadia for everyone to see on display. Nadia was straddling Jeffrey for quite some time. I was watching them both E-word with each other. They were having quite a good time together. This is all trying to establish Ransom at or on the plane. Okay, let's see here. Clothing, Victoria's Secret clothing they were provided. We've seen this in other allegations as well, that Jeffrey Epstein would frequently give girls money to buy lingerie from Victoria's Secret. And that's about the bulk of the docs. So keep in mind, the part that you might not see the most about, depending on where the political sources are coming from, are quite frankly the last pages here. And this is a document here where Dershowitz suggests that Ransom lacks credibility, and so that's going to be a big thing. Obviously, people start debating is that, hey, you know, this Ransom girl has no credibility. Don't listen to a word she says. And part of the reason for that is because, by the way, here's Sarah Ransom arguing that her emails have been. I've reached out to Russian to my aid. Thank goodness for anonymous. Some of these emails do feel very unhinged. I know there's probably a very stressful situation going on here, but lines like, I will make sure they all go behind bars. I've already sent everything I need to. The CIA, hacking my emails, etc. We're too late. I also have numerous devices with systems that are unhackable. I have film footage all over Europe itching to be released. Thanks again for your help. You really took one for the team. Okay, this is also very bizarre because it's Sarah emailing herself. But anyway, don't believe me, I can prove that too. You don't know what I am and what I'm not going to go away until I have achieved my goals of getting the bad guys where they belong. Okay?
Oh
So
my god.
then we have this. This is actually a duplicate of one of the other exhibits that we saw in Clinton. And again, this is the Clinton section here we covered at the beginning of the video, which was the my friend had sexual intercourse with Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Branson, likely referring to Virginia, who was underage at one point. And then this is the Donald Trump mention about her casual friendship with Trump, which involved fondling her breasts at Donald Trump fondling her breasts at Jeffrey's mansions on regular occasions. But again, remember that the girl alleging this didn't start working with the Epsteins until 2006, and by then, if this indeed was Virginia they're talking about, Virginia was probably between 22 and 23 years old. So that gives you a full update on the latest that is on these tapes. So thanks so much for being here. If you want to learn more about my perspectives, an unbiased way to build your wealth, this is kind of a weird place to mention this, but go to meetkevin.com. I can teach you how to build wealth in real estate, how to minimize paying taxes, become an entrepreneur, expand your entrepreneur.
Thank you, thank Kevin. Felix Connor from our stream.
business, your sales skills, your ability to defer paying taxes, potentially in some cases never pay taxes on your investments. There's some great ways to do that. So take a look at that, all at meetkevin.com. Thank you so much for being here. It's coffee time, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. You cannot advertise these things that you told us here. I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes. Congratulations, man. You've done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Panfast there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.
Oh no. Well, time to go. That did not go my way. I lost him. That's okay. I'm tired and it's been a while. Oh, nice money. And I have not been paying attention to that. I think my drone filled my ship. It's kind of funny. That works for me. It's still money that I have that...
Active.
So... Now, this was 14 hours ago, okay?
Docking request accepted.
Excuse me.
To another episode of Cold
Yep. Thank you, Cold Fusion, for the excellent content for your stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
He held his phone close, eyes searching for privacy. The man scarcely noticed the subway riders around him, or the 90-year-old artist sketching his hunched frame from across the train. In the 7 decades since Alex Katz first drew the outlines of commuters on New York City's early morning trains, the chattering riders and newspapers had all but gone. In their places were people who rode alone, together, the light in their eyes reflecting the glow of their smartphone. That was a quote from the Dallas Morning News. This short imagery is something that we see and all understand, but never really think deeply about. Why does it seem like less people are talking to each other in public? Why do we collectively prefer the dim glow of a smartphone screen? Do you remember your childhood neighborhood? Chances are, you probably felt like it was one big family. Everybody knew each other, celebrated together, and would offer help when needed. But in recent decades, this seems like it's no longer the case. People seem to keep to themselves more, and as a side effect, people are more lonely today than ever before. The number of men without any close friends has increased 5 times since 1990, and 10 times for women, though the total percentage of men feeling lonely is higher. On top of this, 3/4 of Gen Z report feeling lonely. Why have we drifted from each other? What is going on here? The trend started before the pandemic and even before smartphones, so it has to be something structural within society. But what? I've been working on this episode for many months. It's an exploration of the loneliness epidemic. In this episode, we'll see the definitions of loneliness, its origins, its causes, and who's most affected. But this episode isn't all bad news. We'll explore some very real ways to combat loneliness. This isn't the kind of video I normally do, but I think it's an important topic. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
You are watching Telefusion TV.
Loneliness is on the rise globally, and it's being declared a health risk. A top US health expert has warned that loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes per day. In 2017, former US Surgeon General
right.
Murphy recognized the growing trend in loneliness based on scientific research. Vivek phrased the phenomenon as the loneliness epidemic. But to understand this winding and twisting story, we have to start at the fundamentals. What does it mean to be lonely? People sometimes confuse loneliness and solitude, but the fact of the matter is, being alone and feeling lonely are not the same. You can feel lonely even though you're physically with other people, or you can enjoy solitude without feeling lonely. In a nutshell, loneliness is not always the result of being alone. It's more of a mental state of being. From a neuroscientist point of view, loneliness is actually a state of hypervigilance. It makes you feel unsafe and unsatisfied with your social interactions. It's a type of emotional pain signal. The pain is telling your brain that you need to find someone to talk to. That's what loneliness is, the difference between how much social connection you want and how much you feel you actually have. It can be summed up by this line: loneliness is feeling disconnected from others, even when they're right next to you. If it's temporary, it's the equivalent of being hungry. But when it becomes chronic, that's when it starts affecting your health. Chronic loneliness can trigger a fight or flight response, and when that becomes bad enough, it becomes ingrained in our nervous system, resulting in anxiety, depression, and even anger.
The pandemic poured fuel on a fire that was already burning.
Dr. Vivek Murthy, the U.S. Surgeon General, says loneliness is an epidemic, the focus of an 80-page advisory he is releasing today.
We're used to thinking about smoking and obesity as clear public health concerns.
So you're saying loneliness is comparable to smoking in terms of the detriment to your health?
Yeah, in terms of the risk.
Mentally.
The cure,
Wow.
Murthy says, is not only personal change, but societal change as well.
You're talking about changing the social fabric. That's been decades in the making.
If you can see me, then you're probably a little too close. So you think you can love me. Oh no, did you aggro? God damn it, every time I alt tab, immediate pop aggro. I'm talking like to the second. It's so annoying to me.
But it's also something that I'm confident that we can address if we put our mind to it and if we act together.
We'll get to more of the health effects a bit later. But for now, let's ask the question, how did we get here?
Warp drive
Loneliness
active.
is not a new thing. It's been around for as long as humans have. Today's loneliness seems like a simple cause and effect. As society became more complex, with industrialization, urbanization, and a faster pace of life, people became lonely. But it's not that straightforward. Something major happened in the 1960s and 70s that became the bedrock for the Loneliness Epidemic Declaration in 2017. In Western nations, it was the social movements of the 1960s and 70s that seemed to accelerate this phenomena. A 2023 QC research piece on loneliness by Alan Greenblatt would mention that, quote, the mass social movements of the 1960s helped shift people's attention from local concerns to more national issues, end quote. In other words, local communities mattered less, and it was all about changing the national status quo. According to Alan, this eventually resulted in a, quote, decreased number of social gatherings and eroded organisational participation, end quote. For a commentary on the cultural mood at the time, at least in the UK, you can look no further than the Beatles. According to Paul McCartney, the 1966 Beatles song, Eleanor Rigby, was a broad commentary on the social changes of the 1960s.
Oh, we watched this already. Yeah, we watched this one already. It's weird. I just must not have followed. You were so annoying. Just die. Stupid crushing blow mobs hurt so bad. Without the rune, I couldn't do it. AI from 60 Minutes. I don't trust 60 Minutes. How the 2008... Yeah, here's probably a really good one.
Welcome to another episode of...
Thank you, Coldfusion, for the excellent content from my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
2008 was a pretty interesting year. It was my first year of university. The iPhone was 1 year old. Dubstep was about to explode, and Breaking Bad changes television. But what most people remember from 2008 was the financial disaster that came with it. The world would go through one of the biggest crises it had ever witnessed. $19.2 trillion of household wealth would be lost, and some of the biggest financial institutions in the world would fail. The crisis would mark everyone who lived through it. Without knowing it, many have had their lives determined by this recession. From the backlash against globalization to the erosion of trust in governments, financial institutions, and each other, it can all be traced back to this point in time. Since the recession, less people are having kids, and it's been harder to get by. And I'm even talking before COVID. The 2008 crisis was the death of the real economy. After that point, there was less productivity and more money printing and low interest rates, which disproportionately helped the richest people. With the way the global economy is looking today, it's increasingly important to look back at this point in history to understand exactly what happened and the parallels it has to today. This special episode will be split into 3 parts. First, I'll take you through the setup of the disaster, then the crash, then the death of the real economy, and I'll finish with what you can do to help yourself. Let's begin the story of one of the biggest events in human history.
You are watching Telefusion TV.
To get the full picture, we need to go back to America in 1995. During this year, the fight was on to help low-income earners. The US government passed laws to increase discrimination against poorer home borrowers. The banks would lower lending requirements, offering packages such as reduced payments for a number of years. Soon after, in 1999, the US government repealed a law that prevented commercial banks from taking part in investment banking activities. The law that they got rid of was the Glass-Steagall Act. Ironically, this law was made in 1933 to stop the speculation that fueled the Great Depression. It was a fatal mistake. From 1999 onwards, banks which had previously managed conservatively turned to riskier and riskier investments, as well as speculation, all in an effort to increase their returns. Banks cared less about their customers and more about their profits.
Oh no.
According to Nobel economics laureate Joseph Stiglitz, this move played a major role in the financial collapse that was to come. But why worry? Right now, things were good. It was the late 1990s, and there was seemingly no economic problems in sight for America. The internet had taken over the minds of everyone. Investment banks were throwing money behind anything that had a .com at the end. The result was the launch of stupid companies like Pets.com. The banks didn't care though. When the stock went up, they would sell and make their profit. This was the .com bubble, and it had arrived in full force. People quit their jobs to trade stocks, and shares went crazy. For example, shares of Qualcomm rose by 2,619% in 1999 alone. In America, there was money to be made, and life was good. But something started to happen. Soon investors realized that these internet companies had no cash flow and couldn't actually make any money. And by March 2000, it all came crashing down. The next year, the September 11th attacks would occur, followed by the Enron and WorldCom corporate accounting scandals. After these events, the public and the markets lost trust in the economy. Spending trended downwards, and it was looking like the economy was heading for a recession. To avoid this, the Central Bank of the United States, the Federal Reserve, decided to lower interest rates down to 1%. The low interest rates would increase spending and recover confidence in the American economy. With a low 1% interest rate and no systemic problems in the real economy, the recovery was rapid and economic growth was ample. Eventually, speculation started to migrate from stocks into real estate. By 2003, everyone with a good credit score and a good job already owned a home. If you were in the business of giving out home loans, this was a bad sign. To save their profit margins, mortgage lenders relaxed credit scores to get more people in the door and increase profits. These were called subprime loans. As the money flowed in and time went on, the lending standards got lower and lower and lower. Soon there were mortgage deals that required no income, no job, and no assets.
They stopped checking whether the income was even real. They turned to low and no doc loans, so-called liar's loans. No income, no job, no assets, and they were still willing to lend.
But help me out here. How does that make sense for the lender? It would seem to be reckless in the extreme.
It was, but the key assumption was that home prices would keep going up forever. And in fact, home prices nationwide had never declined since the Great Depression.
People like acupuncturist Rula Geosmus became real estate speculators.
How many properties did you buy in this last 5-year period?
I believe in the last 5-year period I bought about 6 properties.
And what did you buy them for?
For investments.
If a subprime customer defaulted, it was no problem. Just sell the house because it was going to go up in value, so you're going to still make a profit. So this next part is a bit in the weeds, but I need you to bear with me because it's crucial to the story. So Wall Street was looking at this situation and they saw an opportunity. You see, there were 2 groups of people that could be linked here. On the one side were the mortgage lenders, who were profiting from a newly found market. They wanted to get rid of these risky loans because they knew that these loans were junk and had a huge liability. On the other hand, you had institutional investors who were looking for ways to increase their returns. Since interest rates were low at 1%, high-yield products were off the table. The Wall Street banks had an idea, and they got to work offering the perfect high-yielding product, the mortgage-backed security. These were a bundle of individual mortgage debts sold as shares. These shares would give back the investors that bought them a safe, fixed income. The devious bankers realized that they could use an old financial tool in combination with mortgage-backed securities to make unimaginable amounts of money. If they used this tool in the housing market, they could...
They all have better gear than me now because they main this game.
This tool was the CDO.
I don't care, frankly, though.
Debt obligation. To give you an idea of how lovely these products were, the bank that invented them went bankrupt due to a massive insider trading scandal. One way to imagine a CDO product is to think of it as a box. This box gets filled with monthly repayments from a group of mortgages and other debt, such as car loans and student loans. The box can generate income to investors who buy it. It's divided into different levels. Each level represents a different risk.
A CDO works like 3 cascading trays. As money comes in, the top tray fills first, then spills over into the middle, and whatever is left into the bottom. The money comes from homeowners paying off their mortgages. If some owners don't pay and default on their mortgage, less money comes in and the bottom tray may not get filled. This makes the bottom tray riskier and the top tray safer. To compensate for the higher risk, the bottom tray receives a higher rate of return, while the top receives a lower, but still nice return.
The aim of this was to diversify the risk, but there was a fatal flaw. Since the box had safe prime home loans mixed in with loans to people who had no job, the whole thing was risky. All of the risk was passed to investors who purchased these debt boxes. Meanwhile, the lenders and the banks profited handsomely by charging high fees.
This system was a ticking time bomb. Lenders didn't care anymore about whether a borrower could repay, so they started making riskier loans. The investment banks didn't care either. The more CDOs they sold, the higher their profits.
As the financial assets became more complex and harder to value, the majority didn't understand how these instruments worked. They turned to credit rating agencies for clarity. The hope was that these institutions would do their homework for them and determine risk correctly. But as it goes, the rating agencies completely screwed up. They rated these debt boxes as AAA, the highest possible rating. This signaled that they were extremely safe, good enough for pension funds and the wider economy to invest in. But there's a question remaining. Why did the rating agencies rate these debt boxes as high quality? Well, sadly,
Why are all these
it's
people
because
getting
the
on
rating
2 in the
agencies
morning?
Made billions of dollars in doing so. If a bank came to them asking to rate their box filled with junk, a rating agency would know that if they gave the product the true junk rating, the banks would just go to another rating agency down the road to get the AAA rating they desired. Rating all of these boxes AAA meant that the money kept flowing into the rating agencies. This was another key component to the disaster. These false ratings would later spread America's problems to the rest of the world. Between 2000 and 2007, the subprime mortgage debt included in the packages increased from 5% to 36%. They saw remarkable success, growing from an estimated $20 billion in 2004 to over $180 billion in 2007. Bankers were personally making millions to tens of millions in bonuses. While this was going on, there were some mad scientists in the financial industry that were creating financial weapons of mass destruction. This is where things go insane, and the greed was in full swing. The final stage of the greed was the invention of the mortgage credit default swap. This was a financial instrument that worked as insurance against failed mortgage debt products.
So it's an insurance contract.
It is an insurance contract, but they've been very careful not to call it that. Because if it were insurance, it would be regulated.
This is actually the security.
This is the selling document for the securities.
Think anybody ever read this stuff?
I doubt very many people read it.
These complex financial instruments were actually designed by mathematicians and physicists who used algorithms and computer models to reconstitute the unreliable loans in ways that were supposed to eliminate most of the risk.
Obviously, they turned out to be wrong.
Why?
Because you can't model human behavior with math.
They are complex, in effect, mortgage science projects devised by these Nobel-track physicists who came to work on Wall Street.
And it didn't stop Wall Street from making billions selling them to banks, pension funds, and other institutional investors all over the world.
How big is the market?
Docking request accepted.
We really don't know. There's this voluntary survey that claims that the market is in the range of 50 to 60 or so trillion dollars. It's sort of alarming that in a market that big, you don't even know how big it is to within, say, $10 trillion.
This enabled banks to bet on the direction of a mortgage price. If they guessed right, they would make a bunch of money.
Think of it for a moment as a football game. People in the stands may also have a financial stake in the outcome, in the form of a bet with a friend or a bookie.
The new bet that arose over the last several years is a bet based on whether people will default on their mortgages.
And that was the bet that blew up Wall Street.
And crazier still, banks could bet on the outcome of the previous bet, and banks could bet on the bet of that bet. Because these are swaps, and technically not insurance, the banks didn't need any cash to back up their bets if they go bad. What could possibly go wrong?
And it used to be illegal.
It was very illegal 100 years ago because it had brought down the market in 1907. And they said, we're not going to let this happen again. And then 100 years later, in 2000, we rolled them all back.
In retrospect, giving immunity from state gambling laws and legalizing activity
And it's gone.
for most of the 20th century should have given lawmakers
What?
pause.
If it sounds meaningless, it basically is. These products created no value in the economy, but were making banks a whole bunch of money. Insurance companies, such as AIG, saw their profits soar. Financial engineering was running rampant, and there was no one supervising any of these products. In October 2004, the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, bizarrely relaxed the liquidity requirements of 5 banks: Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch.
Oh, good. You just gave him money, huh?
This lit the fire.
The more the banks borrowed, the higher their leverage. The SEC somehow decided to let investment banks gamble a lot. That was nuts. I don't know why they did that.
From 2004 to 2007, these investment banks each significantly increased their financial leverage. This amplified gains, but also amplified as they gambled more, these banks became extremely vulnerable to financial shocks.
Came back and my omen of clarity was off.
They reported $4.1 trillion in debt. That was
So
about
annoying.
30% of US GDP at the time. The stage was now fully set for a moment that would shake the world. During 2004, as the US economy picked up pace, the US central bank started to increase interest rates. This would set off a chain reaction event because financial institutions had offered up many adjustable rate loans based on low rates. Home buyers would enjoy these low rates for about 2 to 3 years. After this period, the rates would reset to align with the market interest rate. But when you combine rising rates with low-income subprime customers, it was a disaster. Home buyers went from paying little to no monthly interest payments to their payments suddenly snapping up to multiple times higher to meet the market. Many just couldn't pay up.
But after 2, 3, or 5 years, those rates reset. They went up, and so did the monthly payment. So a mortgage of, say, $800 a month could easily jump to $1,500.
By mid-2006, an increasing number of defaults caused home prices to fall. Homes were now worth less than their mortgage loan. Many homeowners stopped paying their mortgages and went into foreclosure. This is where the crisis starts gaining momentum. As more foreclosures occurred, home prices fell further, while demand kept decreasing as well. As 2007 got underway, nearly 1.3 million properties were foreclosed. There was a rumbling that something big was going on when the subprime specialist lender, New Century Financial, files for bankruptcy. Then, one subprime lender after another files for bankruptcy. By the end of 2007, 2.3 million homes had been foreclosed, and the subprime mortgage crisis was officially underway. The high default rates by the homeowners led to a rapid devaluation of the financially engineered products from before. Investors were now aware of the risks, and they were now trying to sell these toxic debt boxes at all costs. In March of 2007, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke tries to calm the markets. He states, "The subprime loan issue is contained." He couldn't have been more wrong. Ironically, in October 2022, Ben Bernanke would win the Nobel Prize for Economics. You're about to see why this is so ironic. In August of 2007, a bombshell announcement rattles the market. France's BNP Paribas announces that there is no liquidity in the global market for mortgage-backed securities. In other words, nobody wants to buy the debt boxes anymore.
Oh, I went too far.
They're essentially
Damn it.
worthless. Other European banks follow with similar announcements. The real picture was becoming clear. The mortgage-backed securities that were supposed to be AAA and safe are in reality worthless. And even worse, they had spread through the global financial system undetected like a cancer. As a result of these shock announcements, there was a panic among financial firms and banks. Investors looked around and wanted to pull any funding that was thought to be vulnerable to mortgage losses. Financial institutions struggled to assess the values of their books. What they thought was worth trillions of dollars could actually be worth close to zero. the contagion continued to spread. September 2007. UK bank Northern Rock was also playing with high leverage and financially engineered products, and they have to be bailed out by the Bank of England. Investors then queued to take their money out. It was the first bank run in the UK since 1866. While all of this was going on, the Federal Reserve was still clueless. They forecasted that the slowdown would be mild, stating that there would still be 3% GDP growth. Come on, guys. March of 2008 sees Bear Stearns fall. Bear Stearns was a pillar of Wall Street dating back to 1923 and was the 5th largest investment bank. The firm carried a notional market value of $13.4 trillion. So how did this number get so high? This was because they were also being reckless and using very high leverage, which multiplied their losses. Bear Stearns bet big on the mortgage markets and lost.
The markets have certainly gotten worse, but our liquidity position has not changed at all. Our balance sheet has not weakened at all.
And yet, 48 hours later, everything changes. This morning, Schwartz said that the firm's cash position has deteriorated sharply over the past day. Questions now being asked loss of $3.5 billion in market value today alone.
They were bought by JP Morgan for $2 a share. Just earlier in the year, Bear Stearns was worth $170 a share. Global panic ensued, and it was at a fever pitch. Lehman Brothers, the 4th largest investment bank, is being looked at as the next to fall. It was also heavily exposed to the subprime mortgage financing products. Lehman CFO, Erin Callan, calmed investors by boasting of a profit of $489 million. The stock jumps 48% on the news. But all wasn't as it seems. A later 2010 report by the court examiner stated that Lehman executives regularly used accounting gimmicks at the end of each quarter to make their financials seem less shaky than they really were. In reality, their risky commercial real estate holdings were 30 times greater than their capital. Lehman Brothers was so highly leveraged that a 3 to 5% decline in real estate values would completely wipe out all of their capital. By June, Lehman Brothers reported a $2.6 million loss, which no amount of accounting magic could hide. Their stock falls by 73%. Meanwhile, other banks such as Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs started betting against the mortgage securities, which they were still selling, and they would make hundreds of millions of dollars, while investors lost everything. Unbelievable. At this time, the US had now tipped into recession as GDP fell by 2.1%. September 2008, the crisis begins to spin out of control, and Lehman Brothers collapses. This marks the largest US bankruptcy of all time.
The U.S. government said it won't bail out Lehman, which last week announced more than $3.9 billion in losses. Shares in Lehman Brothers have plummeted more than 80% in 2008 alone.
Everybody in the West, at least, owns, a lot of people have got pensions, and these pensions invest in stock markets, and a lot of the shares are actually the shares of banks. And when bank shares get hammered, people's pensions get hammered, so everybody loses.
Lehman Brothers is going bankrupt after talks to pull them back from the abyss collapsed. And financial markets from Asia to Europe are doing their utmost to prevent Monday from turning from dark to black.
This is going to be one of the watershed days in financial markets history.
It was a manic Monday in the financial markets. The Dow tumbled more than 500 points after two pillars of the street tumbled over the weekend. Lehman Brothers, a 158-year-old firm, filed for bankruptcy.
I don't think anyone really expected a bank as big as Lehman to be in the position that it's in now.
Brought down by bad mortgage investments, Lehman, which has 25,000 employees, will be liquidated.
I'm starting to find another job.
Meanwhile, Merrill Lynch, fearing it could be next, agreed in an act of desperation to a shotgun marriage with Bank of America. So in just 6 months, 3 of the 5 biggest independent firms on Wall Street have now disappeared. Bear Stearns, which collapsed last spring, Lehman Brothers, and Merrill Lynch.
The banks were all scared, and they stopped lending to each other, and the financial system froze. Companies couldn't order parts, pay for staff, and businesses ground to a halt. And if If nothing was done, planes would have to stop flying.
We came as close as we have ever come in history to a total cardiac arrest, not just of the American economy, but the entire world economy.
Meaning everybody's afraid to lend to US credit, simply freezes, and an economy, a modern economy, can't function that way?
A modern economy can't function without credit for more than even a couple of hours, frankly, seconds. GE, the pillar of American manufacturing, was having a hard time getting short-term credit. So was Harvard University. Wage bills were not being paid.
Knowing that something had to be done, the infamous bailout started. On September 16, 2008, the US Federal Reserve stepped in to buy AIG, the largest insurer in the US. While Lehman was just another bank, AIG presented a systemic risk to the entire financial system, or so they told us. It was an $85 billion loan, and this was the origin of the famous too big to fail argument.
We're in an urgent situation, and the consequences will grow worse each day if we do not act.
The US government gave the banks $700 billion to purchase toxic assets and bank shares to stop them from falling any lower. It did work, but the biggest banks just ended up being even larger after buying up all the other failing banks. The use of hundreds of billions of dollars of taxpayers' money to bail out these banks sparked complete outrage. It was the beginning of mass distrust in institutions and governments. The immediate result was the Occupy Wall Street movement and the invention of Bitcoin.
We got to get away from the government's control of our money. Pretty much right away, we were like, oh God, imagine a currency that the government can't fuck up like they do everything else. That's why Bitcoin exists. I love Bitcoin. I just don't use it. I think it's actually a really great technology. It's the purview. It's the currency of the deep web, though, which is a problem. I'm saying that's a problem. Not that I care that they're selling drugs, it's that they're selling like pedo shit and all types of shit like that, guns and assassinations. I think. Don't know if I know that I think that the deep web's cool and I've been there, but I don't like spend my time there. Like I don't know. I think there's a difference between being a creative individual who's online and has like a tech, has a tech leaning and all this, and somebody who farms Bitcoin. I think there's a big difference between those two people. I think one person is just essentially farming. The other person is doing it as an art form, I think. Like, I found it easy to kick these people today. I hate to say it, but I found it easy. Because I'm like, yeah, the artistic license remains mine if I don't want... It's like, I reserve the right to serve, Just like when I had a taxi cab. I have choice of who comes in my cab or not, It's my choice. No one else.
And the subsequent Great Depression lasted for almost a decade.
I'd rather restart my career 25,000 fucking times than be somebody or something that I'm not, Sorry. I know that's a tortured fucking thing, but I mean, it is who I am.
Arguments to be made on both sides. As for now, the crisis was still in full swing. The Federal Reserve also cut interest rates in the hope of restoring the market. In total, during the fourth quarter of 2008, the Central Bank of the United States purchased $2.5 trillion of government debt and junk private assets from the banks. Up until that point, this was the largest monetary policy action in the history of the world. By 2009, the stock market has fallen 50% from its 2007 highs. Pension funds were completely wiped out. As we know, it wasn't just the US that suffered. Institutions and governments around the world owned American assets. In 2008, it became obvious that the crisis was going to have global repercussions. After the fall of Lehman Brothers, banks and corporations globally began to fail. In the UK, HBOS was taken over by Lloyds, and the UK government steps in to save its banking system. With lending markets drying up around the world, the central banks of the United States, European Union, Australia, Canada,
He's
and
done.
coordinated
You're lucky,
to inject cash
motherfucker.
into debt markets for the first time since 9/11. November of 2008 sees the International Monetary Fund approve loans to stabilize Ukraine and Iceland. By December 2008, riots had broken out in Greece.
Much of the day, the clashes were centered around the Greek parliament, one of the few buildings here being
Oh my god.
Iceland was hit particularly bad. Relative to the size of its economy, the systemic collapse was the largest experienced by any country in economic history. Some of the biggest banks in the nation became worthless, and their stock market fell by almost 80%.
Here as elsewhere, the police are first to meet the anger and despair amongst the population. During the past weekends, thousands have taken to the streets to protest against their government and alleged corruption amongst bank managers. For the first time in history in this tiny nation, leading politicians and businessmen are now protected by armed guards. Landsbanki was one of 3 big Icelandic banks that had engaged in an uncontrolled loaning spree abroad. When the international credit crunch hit, they had accumulated loans worth 12 times the nation's GDP. When the banks defaulted, the state had to take over their debts, worth more than $60 billion.
I'm gonna get a level.
Unlike many countries, the people of Iceland...
Every level gets me further away from being harassed. And when I cap out, it's over. They can't stop me. I love it.
And they got to keep the money. The rest of Europe was still hit hard, the results of which was the European
Oh god, what am I doing?
a multi-year
I don't know.
crisis that took place from 2009
Oh.
until the end of the 2010s. Some member states, namely Portugal, Greece, Spain, and Ireland, were unable to repay or refinance their government debt. Until today, countries like Greece are still struggling to overcome their financial issues. On April 10th, 2009, Time magazine declared, quote, "More quickly than it began, the banking crisis is over." But was it really? Problems still persisted. Wages and incomes continued to languish. The real economy was limping. People would be out of work for a few years to come, and by 2010, unemployment around the world had risen, hitting almost 10% in the United States and Europe. 6 million Americans lost their jobs, and 8 million lost their home.
Oscar Munoz used to sell real estate. Now his company clears out foreclosed homes.
I wonder, do you ever come to houses where the people are still here?
Absolutely. That's really a sad situation. I'd rather not meet the people.
Why not?
It's not easy to come in and bring a family out.
Oh.
It's just our job for the bank.
Everything's happening so fast. No, what did I do? I threw my thing. No. Oh. Okay.
In 2010, regulatory action was finally taken. The US government passed the Dodd-Frank Act. It included more oversight and transparency for financially engineered products, limits on risky bank investments, tighter regulation for rating agencies. The whole aim was to stop this kind of disaster from never happening again. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have worked. Today, banks have reinvented the debt boxes and the tools used to speculate on them. This time, they're calling them bespoke collateralized synthetic obligations. This time, they're using corporate debt instead of mortgages. 2022 saw a large spike in activity, quadrupling to $40 billion in this year alone. Let's just hope that corporations don't all default on their debt due to a systemic shock. I personally don't think we'll have another crisis exactly the same as 2008, but safe to say, these stupid financial experiments aren't helping. I really sincerely hope that there's not more of them out there, which we just don't know about.
Yep.
So what happened next? What scars did
Wow.
such a disaster leave on the economy? Well, there's some strong arguments to be made that there has been no real economy since 2008. If you look at the GDP per capita of the real economy of the United States, it never recovered. It has been below trend since 2008. If you're in your late 30s onwards, this is probably why it felt harder
I'm aware.
for each person to get ahead since the crash.
Yep.
In the United States alone, it's projected that an adult that lived through the crash has lost about $70,000 in lifetime earnings. Younger people were less affected, but less employment opportunities still set them back. For the first time, a whole generation would be poorer than their parents. It's not uncommon for younger people to live paycheck to paycheck, funding their lives with buy now, pay later debt. Subsequently, the fertility rates around the world have decreased significantly after 2008. There may be other explanations for the phenomenon, but the charts are clear. A financial disaster would certainly impact the way families would plan for their future. After the 2008 crisis, central banks gained more power. They set interest rates low for so long that the stock market and eventually the whole financial system adjusted and settled around this state. Low interest rates meant cheap money. People, companies, and governments borrowed money with virtually no interest. Investments turned risky, and excessive debt distorted many markets. By the mid-2010s, these conditions had become the scaffolding for the whole financial system. Growth became dependent on central banks keeping these conditions the same. Wealth inequality exploded as those closest to the financial industry got extremely rich, while the rest of the general populace stayed the same. By the late 2010s, many economic commentators were referring to this as the everything bubble. First it was stocks, then it was housing, then it's the debt market now, which controls everything. This next point is key to really understanding the death of the real economy. Economic productivity. This is the measure of how much stuff you get out from the resources that you put in. Since 2008, it's been severely injured. Due to zero interest rates for so long after 2008, the investment that would have gone to productive areas of the economy catapulted into riskier sectors. The real economy just didn't get the capital it needed to innovate and develop and do things more efficiently. Low economic productivity affects real wage growth, living standards, and quality of life. Even former Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen called it the, quote, most important factor determining continued advancements in living standards. This is why, when our leaders told us that the economy was booming in the 2010s, it really didn't feel like that to many people. Productivity was gone. It's a missing piece of the 21st century economic story that's often left out. Then we come to 2020.
This one was really fucking good. I like Cold Fusion, it's good.
With a lot of force, printing trillions of dollars as the economy was slowing to a halt. There's no denying that this mitigated the pain. But was this an overreaction? Many think so. Economic professor Jeremy Siegel called it a monumental mistake. Regardless, the stock market loved it and vaulted to all-time highs. Then, investments into risky assets like NFTs shot up. Eventually, there was too much money in the system and not enough goods, and the prices of everything started to rise. Aside from the fallout of COVID and the war in Ukraine, a component of inflation today comes from the actions of central banks. In the latest stage of this roller coaster, central banks have panicked at the large inflation and have started raising rates. This was to slow down the economy and reduce demand, and this is supposed to bring down inflation. But as stated, low rates and easy money had become the scaffolding of the financial system. Raising interest rates reverses these conditions that the financial system was used to. This is why, as soon as interest rates start rising, everything seems to be falling apart. Stock markets are crashing, and companies are laying off staff. The whole system just isn't used to a normal interest rate environment. Today there's a lot more debt in the system than in 2008, and this was thanks to central banks keeping interest rates near zero for more than a decade. Increasing rates would make this large volume of debt harder to manage for individuals and governments. Countries like Australia, Canada, and the UK have a lot of variable rate mortgages which will snap higher to market rates over the next few years. Subprime car loans and credit card loans are seeing increased defaults. Meanwhile,
come on, man.
Greece is in trouble and they're selling part of their domestic bank. Central bank liquidity swaps are going crazy in Switzerland.
God damn it, that broke so quick.
It looks like we're going to have another recession, but what happens beyond that is anyone's guess.
Stupid
After
29.
almost 15 years, the 2008 recession has taught us several lessons. It was the loose lending standards and low central bank interest rates that started the problem. Financial engineering spread it to the world. Bad policy, accounting fraud, and poor credit rating agencies fanned the flames. Although structural reform has taken place since 2008, we should also take a deeper look into central banks and their decisions. They always seem to print and leave rates too low for too long, distorting markets and blowing up bubbles, only to pop these bubbles later. It's a scenario that seems to be playing out again today. All in all, the real lesson that we as a society never seem to learn is to keep those in charge accountable and also to plan for the unpredictable. So, for you personally, what can you do if you're worried and don't trust our expert leaders?
Masturbate.
Is to avoid risk. If you're inclined
masturbate in your bedroom.
Think about assets that have little to no risk or financial engineering behind them. Some believe physical gold and silver, as boring as they may seem, are the ultimate riskless assets. Others believe government bonds are. Others still think plain old cash is best. Talk to a financial professional to make that personal decision.
I think it's silver.
Sleep easier at night. So before I finally go, I do want to hear some stories from 2008 from you guys. I know I was too young to be impacted directly, but I did know and I got a sense that the world was changing while I was studying in university. So what do you remember from this?
I did not know this was here.
Anyway, a massive thanks for watching.
Well, it's good that I know now.
A lot of effort to bring to life. So I do want to thank you for sticking till the end. If you did like it, take a look around the channel. There's a lot of interesting stuff on science, technology, business, and finance. In the next episode, we'll move away from finance for a second.
What?
Take a look at an interesting story. Did you know that apart from Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, Apple had a third co-founder, and he sold 10% of his Apple shares for a measly $800 in 1976? Well, I'll see you next time in that episode. My name is Dagogo, and you've been watching Cold Fusion. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
I don't know how I pulled the bow out of nowhere, but I did. I pulled the bow out of nothing. Came over here looking for cloth, but I'll take it. Nice. I think this is the way back. I think I'll have to come back to the base, but yeah, this is the way back. Yeah. This is good. I lost them, I think, finally. That little outcropping is actually super good for losing them. I'll take them back there again if I get them again. They all get caught up in there. I don't know. Maybe I did go the wrong way. I don't know. I think I'm up over the hill right here, but I don't know. I might have fucked up. Gone the wrong way. I thought I was over here, but Maybe not. And I should now backtrack to that other base. Like now, before I get any further lost in this. Yeah, this was not it. I did not come this far. Wait. Oh, what? Oh, maybe, well... There's the zombies. I've been building bases. I guess I could just build another base, I suppose. You know, it is a viable thing. I'm gonna... Oh, I dinged. Nice. Oh, before I do this... Yeah, I really want that first, because it's, like, way better when it's like that, when you get two firsts. Or Instant Mine. Yeah, Instant Mine's way, way better. It's, like, the best thing in the chart. Okay, there's his base. We know that I didn't come from that direction. I don't think I went behind this, so I'm fairly sure... Oh, there's the road. The road... oh, God, where was... Oh, God, I really don't know. There's the road, and it's good to know that the road's there, but I have now lost my base, and that sucks. All I was trying to do was find cloth. And, yeah, because I don't have a bed. And that's a problem. I'm still looking for cloth. Thank God. Here's finally some cloth. Been looking for so long. Oh my God. Right. Oh, no, that was good. Nice. I'll drop the human meat. I don't need it. And yeah, we're not going to snow. So it's good to know that the road's here. And I think I do live like that direction, I guess. I think I do live this direction. I wasn't wrong. Because I definitely didn't see the road. So I'm fairly sure I was this way, actually. I just don't know if it's that way or that way. And I don't know. That bag would indicate that I am this way, and I just maybe didn't go far enough, I guess. Maybe I did walk farther than I thought. I was just, like, right around the corner or something. Maybe the top of that hill might show me where the base is. I love this fucking survival shit. It's so much better than stupid assholes fucking harassing me. What's this? Mandan and Grimska. That's not good. Let's, oh, I moved just in time. Look, he was coming right at me. If he pulls one of these 29s, I can maybe kill him. I want to kill the pet, frankly. No, look at how fast he can kill that bluegill. That's insane. I'm not fucking with him. He's designed to kill me, you know? He's not my best target. It's weird because later on they are, but right now they're not. I don't know. Usually I'll fucking savage a hunter, but at level 25, we don't really have it. We don't have enough. Doesn't really change much more than this, but it gets better. The energy gets better. Damage gets better. Yeah, if I come over here, I might be able to avoid them for a while. I could pull that 29, but I would prefer to do something lower, like the 28. Yep. We'll do him. I've got to get... Yeah, I'll just do Omen when I'm there. That's alright. I'll open, though. God damn it. Resist, resist, dodge, dodge. Resist, resist, dodge. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. Alright, so now I'm disoriented, but I feel like I know this area, but I came over here to get to the top of the cliff. Can't believe I got a fucking compound bow out of nowhere. You know how helpful that actually is? It's insane. Yeah, like, I didn't leave the ground basin, I don't think. Oh, what's this? Oh, God, he fucking aggroed? Son of a bitch. You're gonna get me disoriented. Oh, my God. No. Just switch out and, sleep him. Nope. Sleep him. There we go. Wow, why did that wear so fast? Annoying. I love fucking stealth classes. They're so much better than priest. Priest, I had to go Nell priest because of Shadow Mel. When I was younger, I was the same personality basically. I was so distracted. I would always alt tab or be watching television or something like that. And I would, so, like, you know, eventually, like, I just went stealth class and never really went back because, like, priest, it's great. It's my main and I'm good at it, but I don't relish it versus stealth anymore. I really like stealth. It's so fun to use. It's like being a ghost. Boo. I have lost my house. I don't believe I could have seen that from my house, and that's annoying. I don't really understand that. How did I lose my house? Are those zombies? Yes, they are. Well, so now we roam the area looking for my fucking house and cloth anyways, because I need cloth anyways. Honestly, it doesn't matter where I stop or where I build. None of that really matters. It's more like... There, this looks a little familiar, maybe. I don't know. Was it over here? It doesn't truly matter. I can just build again. I don't like that at all. Goodbye to this. You know what I'm saying? Goodbye. You no longer have... Yeah. This is no good for you. No. Whoever this is isn't on the server anymore, I don't think, but still. I have lost my house. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. The more of these I build, the better. It'll be much, much harder, you know, for them. I have misplaced my house. And that sucks. It's like, eh. I can just keep building them, though. Like I said. Just keep on building them. Used to be you could put 5 bags of 5 bases. I actually really like that. That he changed it. I have lost my house. Wait, there's my house. No. Yeah, that's my house. That's my house. I think. Or is that other house? No, that's my... Yeah, oh, no, that's that other house. I think. Fuck. Where's my house? It's getting dark. I should take shelter in his house. Or they will bite me. I will wait out to the night. I mean, it's cool in RP and survival, so it doesn't bother me. I have to pee anyways. Damn it. Where is my house at from here? Where am I going? I've been going that way. Maybe I should try over that hill real quick while I have the sun on the hill. We can always come back to the house. It's right there. No, that's snow. Like, I wasn't towards snow, was I? I don't think so. Shit, I lost my house. It's so annoying. I guess I didn't try that way. But in any event, I'm going to take shelter in his house for the night because it's like, I don't want to deal with the zombies in the dark. I know what'll happen. I mean, really, I should probably pop his TC, frankly. Or no, it's empty. Oh yeah, it's fucking empty. Who cares? Well, now I can place a fire like I wanted to. That's good. And we'll seal our... Well, we won't seal ourselves in. But we'll... yeah, we'll make a BP. And we'll, like, to block the light... Yeah, like, what's a good thing to do here? I gotta block the light. I have to pee so bad. I'm just gonna seal it off like that for now, and then make the campfire, and place it, and burn. And the likelihood of being seen, I think, is fairly low. I'm tucked in by the rocks and stuff. Yeah, I mean, they could see the light through the walls, but it's definitely muted. So they'll have to be, like, looking for it. It's unlikely that I'd be seen unless they're flying around. Going to turn off my sound. Off. And I'll be right back, guys. Gotta pee. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Turn on the sound. Ah, it's nice and RP in here. Safe from the zombies, unlikely to be aggroed, hopefully. There's a drop, but I don't want to go to it. I'll get lost even worse than I already am. I could build here if the TC wasn't so goddamn bad, you know? And if there wasn't a lock on this, but there is. So, I don't know. Whoever built this... Just let it be for now.
Warp drive active.
It's the scientists being eaten by the Zeds. Gonna get something to drink. I'll be right back. It's about midnight. Oh, I forgot to get ice. Or wait, I don't have ice. I'll just get water. Oh no, I'll get cold water. Pretty good. Pick me up this. I like protein. Three a.m. It was a good night. A lot of good content. A lot of interesting stuff. Up to reset and rebuild. I don't care. I've done this so many times in my life. When Matrix happened and they talked about blue pill, red pill, I don't take the pill. I walk out down the fucking scrub out lane. I don't take either pill. I'm not going to subscribe to you or try to be friends with you. I'm not, you know. It's not my main interest. I somehow lost my torch, but I have a flashlight. That's cool. I feel like I'm camping out. It's fucking so cool, actually. The server itself is like each life. I don't need bases. You know what I'm saying? I can live out of outposts for a while without a base and just live in the base, like climb down to the basement. I never thought about it this way, but I don't need bases. They just take them. And I think I might start to live as a nomad, and who cares what I do each run as long as it gets me XP. The XP makes it so sooner or later I can just make a base really easy. I keep thinking I have to go back to the base, but no. Honestly, I can always just throw up one of these little new things they've got, the little shack or whatever, the shack, I think it's called. Starting shack or whatever. Yeah, the Legacy Wood Shelter. 600 wood, right? I mean, like, yeah, fuck this fire. Fuck this fire. We'll just, like, go out with a flashlight right now. I don't care. It's 6 a.m. anyways. If I die, I die. I think there's this, like, weird miserly... What's that? Is that a base? It has to be, right? No, what is that? It's like... Oh, that was a bad fall. Ouch. Oh, no. Did I have a broken leg? No. 5 minutes. Oh, I broke my leg. Damn it, damn it. Oh, nope. Oh. It's fucking gruesome. Part of the reason I can't find my base is because I think I hit it fairly well. I guess I'll just wait the 5 minutes. It's okay. So, oh, I came to the wrong place. You know, I guess I'm kind of done with this one. I guess I'll go do one more session here. What are we looking at here? No, I don't want to go to that one. I want to go to that one. Yep. Or whatever. Yeah, like that guy. Yeah, is it that guy? Yeah, there's that guy. Yeah. Go to that. Or, well, yeah. Like, go to that. Launch the drones. Target this thing. And we will suck off that node. Kind of brutal, gotta say. I still don't have no cloth for a bag anyways. I like, honestly, if I got home, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I could camp in this area and use this thing. It's weird because it's a great starter base, but you can't place anything in it. What do you mean starter base? It's... Or maybe you can, but you can't... Like, it doesn't last. Like, with the Legacy Wood Shelter, let's go crash course it. And see what the rules are about it.
Let's check out a couple of new things. So first of all, we have the Legacy Wood
Thank you, Protox, for the excellent content from my stream. I'd like to sub
right
to your channel.
Legacy Wood Shelter. It's a 1x1 shelter from Legacy Rust.
Yeah, this is when I played. It looked like this. It was so crappy.
So you can only place it in some weird spots at the moment. It's on staging, but it's on the main branch. Thanks to Ryan for pointing that out on the Rust development chat. As you can see, it is a wooden structure, 1x1, with a wood door. can't test it here, but I assume you'll be able to put boxes.
Boxes.
You'll be able to place TC.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Let's find out, huh?
And I've tested this before.
I don't want them spawning in the walls. So. Oh.
And in case you haven't seen, this is the new L4 shotgun. I have a video on it. As you can tell, 2 Molotovs and the structure will be destroyed.
2 Molotovs.
Now it does something weird where it resets the HP on it right now, but this is because we're on staging. But to rate it, it's 2 Molotovs for now.
Okay.
I've shown this before, but this is the gingerbread skin for wood. It's on staging as well.
Gingerbread skin.
Let's just take another look at it.
That's wood?
And this is the legacy furnace. To be honest with you. Also, the model for it is kind of big, so it takes up a lot of space.
Not really much more than the other one, though. Alright. Well, yeah, see, I guess you can just put fucking boxes on the ground. Why not? I'm not going to put anything in it, but I'm just, you know, looking at testing it out. I don't know if you can put a TC on it, but...
Also, the Frontier wood skin is working on staging as well. If you build out of wood, and then you use this command, skin radius Frontier, and then whatever the radius you want. I just put 500. You can switch your wood to Frontier skin, which is very cool. And you can switch back to gingerbread as well.
The hell? What the hell? Well, I mean, who cares if I die? What the hell? I think they're looking for me by using sound. This is actually so stupid. Are you that much of a loser? I think you are. It's like really dumb. Or maybe they're just flying around shooting at zombies? I don't know. I want to find my base, but I really don't know if I will. Oh, wait, is that it? No. Yeah, that's it. That's it, I think, actually. Yeah, it is it. It's it. I found my base. Yay. I think? Yeah, that's it. No. Wait, maybe that's not it. I don't know. That seems like where I built. But I guess not. No. I am fuck lost. Like, just straight lost.